I love about Seller is the ease and simplicity it provides for me to be able to transact with clients and students from all over the world. Seller has so many amazing features that I really love, so it would be hard to pick a favorite feature. But if I'm to really pick my favorite feature on Seller, as the queen of automation and someone who likes to lay a bunch of products together because I don't want to leave any money on the table, I would say my favorite feature on Seller right now is upsells and cross-sells. I love this feature so much because it allows you to sell related products or even sell the premium offer after someone buys. I love Seller so much, so you should definitely try it.
This is Uzoma. He is a course creator. He sells ebooks and makes roughly $2,000 monthly from his course sales. Do you know where he hosts his courses, ebooks, and digital products? Seller. He even builds sales pages with Seller Page Builder. Now this is Alona. She's a freelance corporate and she has customers in the UK and USA. She even gets paid at least $1,000 for her services and gets the platform she processes her payment with. Seller. Now this is Kwame. He is an affiliate marketer and actively promotes Aluna's course using the swift and easy to use affiliate marketing feature on Seller. In fact, he just joined the affiliate network where he has access to thousands of courses he can promote. Why aren't you selling on Seller? Everyone is selling on Seller, but you. Sign up on Seller today.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the second session of the Women's Digital Product Masterclass. My name is Treasure Kure, and I'm going to be your host for this session. I'll be introducing Farida Yaya. Farida is the VP of Partnerships at Shecluded. But before I go into that, if you can see me, please say hi in the chat room so I know that you can hear me. I'd love to see your comments. So please leave a comment in the chat room so I know that we're live and direct with you guys. So I'll just give us like 2 to 3 minutes to mark attendance, so to speak, and then we'll start the program. Hello Chinyere, hello Temitayo. So good to have you guys back with us today. I really hope you were here for the first session and you learned so many things. Hi Susan, hi Stephanie. It's so good to hear from you guys. It's a pleasure having you guys here on the show this afternoon. I don't know if I've introduced myself, but my name is Treasure Kure and I'm a content marketer here at Seller. Welcome. It's so good to have you guys. So as I was saying earlier, for this second session, we're going to be discussing financial literacy. And we're going to be doing this with the help of Farida Yaya. Farida is the VP of Partnerships at Shecluded. Shecluded, I'm so glad to hear you learned a lot this morning. Yeah, so Shecluded is a company that helps women gain financial literacy through growth loans, building tools, support for them to learn how to be financially literate. And this afternoon, Farida is going to be teaching us a lot about financial literacy for about 30 minutes, after which we'll proceed to the last session of the day. So please stay tuned, get your notes and your pen if you have a lot to learn. And yeah, let's begin. Hello, Farida.
Hi, Treasure. Good
Um,
evening. How
good,
are you doing today?
I'm fine. Good evening. We're really looking forward to everything you have in store for us this afternoon. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Hello, everyone. Very excited to be on this conversation today.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to
So,
leave you to teach. Sorry?
yeah, so what I plan to do is just talk about what we do at Shecluded and just engage the people on the call, just to know what they know about financial literacy, if they know anything about Shecluded, and of course, how we can support them. So it's going to be a highly interactive conversation, but I want to take like the first 5-10 minutes just to talk about what we do at Shecluded. I don't know if my slides are ready to come up so that I can start. All right, great. Thank you so much. So, hello everyone. Good evening. I was looking at the comments earlier when Treasure was doing the introduction. I was so excited to see that we have so many people engaging. Um, and the best way that I introduced Shecluded for me is to say that we are a financial wellness company for women by women. As you can see from the first slide, we finance only women-led companies, and it has been such an exciting journey for us. Um, yeah, so I'll start with the first slide. Treasure, can I have the next slide, please? Okay, thank you. So I want to start by sharing the story of Shecluded and how our founder came about this particular company. So our founder is called Ifoma Udo, and she was an investment banker for a couple of years. And she noticed that women were noticeably absent when it came to access to finance, and access to financial literacy. And when she left her company in 2019, she decided to set up Shecluded. Shecluded is a financial wellness company, like I mentioned earlier. And we started, first of all, with giving access to credit because we realized that a lot of women were not making headway when it came to getting access to financing, either as growth loans or as asset financing. And we wanted to be able to change that. The typical banking system in Nigeria is a very old, credit system whereby you have to have a credit history before you're able to have access to finance, any type of financial product or service. Most women typically only do either savings or make keep their money in in the bank only when they need to make payments. So more or less is an outward way of doing payments. Nobody was thinking of investing more in women. Nobody was thinking of giving women, high ticket loans. Most of the loans women get are usually between 20,000 to 200,000 naira. But Ifama knew that we could do so much more because we are 51% of, the population, and Nigeria is said to have the highest number of women entrepreneurs in the world. So this was the mission we set out with. We wanted to put more money in the hands of women. I want to believe that we have successfully done this over the years. However, while we were doing this, we noticed a few things. So, first of all, we realized that a lot of women did not have credit history. However, we could use alternative data to be able to give them access to financing. And that's exactly what we did. So, we were able to design our own unique alternative algorithm to be able to know if a woman is actually eligible to be able to have access to our financing and to our growth loans. One of the ways we've been able to do this is through community. So what we do is reach out to communities to find out if this woman is part of a community or a member of a particular community and is actively involved. We believe that she has very low to no chances of defaulting on her loan. The second thing we look at is your digital footprint, which is your social history or your social capital. If you are someone who is a leader or a mentor, or is actively involved in building your business and growing your business, then it would be again next to impossible for you to default on your loan. So these are some of the ways that we have been able to successfully use alternative data to fund women and give them access to financing. In the last year alone, we've processed over $1.3 million in loans, and we've been able to support over 300 women. Now, we have a large pool of women in our community, right? Over 20,000 women. And one of the things that we noticed is that for those people we are not able to give out loans to, there's actually another gap, which is financial literacy, meaning that a lot of women start their businesses as projects of passion. And when it is time to scale, one of the things that hinder them from scaling is understanding their numbers and knowing how to work their numbers properly. Because again, business is a numbers game, right? It is about profit. So we decided to again fill in that gap with what we call the She Learns. So with She Learns, what we do is teach the women in our business hub how to do a pitch deck, how to do simple bookkeeping, how to understand their numbers better, the difference between investing and just saving. We also help them with health, having access to health insurance at a very low and discounted rate. And we are able to also give them micro pensions, which is one of the new things that we just introduced into our product strategy. And one of the things that we've seen is that a lot of these women are able to scale, they're able to support their businesses better and also support the people who are working with them in those businesses. Because again, we know the importance of having a team. We know what it means to grow your business from zero to a certain level where you are comfortable leaving the day-to-day operations to your team to be able to run. So that has been very, very exciting for us. We've also been able to collaborate with a lot of people on projects and programs that help support communities that we would normally not be able to reach without this. We've done the One Woman, One Laptop campaign. We've done a lot of work recently, with the World Bank and NatView Foundation to be able to support 1,000 women with financial literacy. And for me, one of the things that gives me joy with this is knowing that as we are helping this particular woman or these women in our community, it is not just the ripple effect is not just on one person or one business, because a lot of times when women do better, they actually pay it forward. So that has been one of the exciting things for me, having to be able to do this. Now, the final component of what we do at Shecluded, like I mentioned, is to actually give support, right? And we have what we call the Shecluded Business Network. And with the business network, we're able to plug in women with other funding opportunities, other accesses, such as access to co-working space. So for people who are not able to afford rent, as part of our business hub or our business network, you're able to get discounted rates to be able to own a business, have a virtual address, and even be able to hold meetings when you need to. And this is available for now in Abuja and Lagos. And that has been such an exciting opportunity for us as well. I've usually had people ask me, is the Shecluded model working, right? And with the rates that we have one of the lowest rates in the market, which is 4%. And a lot of times people say to me, is this working? Have you tested this model? And I'm very happy to say that when we have an over 90% repayment rate. We have an active community of people who have stayed with us over the last 4 years and have continued to grow and also grow other people around them. So I would say that yes, the model is working. So I would stop here. Having said so much about Shecluded, like I said, I would like this to be very interactive. I want to take questions, comments. If people have certain things they need me to clarify on when it comes to financial literacy and understanding numbers, if there's anything that jumps at you from what I've said, either having a pension scheme or having access to our health insurance or loans, and just knowing how to be able to, make your business numbers work for you, then I'm glad to take those questions now. Treasure, over to you.
Hi Farida. So I think Treasure is having issues with
Naiman.
internet.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. So guys, if you have questions, please just drop them in the comment box and we'll take them one after the other. Yeah. So I think we have one question here from Victory.
Okay. Okay, so it said, When would you come to Owerri, Imo State? I'm not in Abuja, in Lagos, but I'm interested. Okay, great. Thank you so much for asking this question, Victory. So, like I said, we are a tech-enabled company, right? So wherever you are in Nigeria and even across the world, so we have clients in the US, in the UK, in Canada, and other African countries as well. So wherever you are in the world, we are able to reach you because we are tech enabled. The only part, like I said, for now that you might not have access to is the virtual address, right? The co-working space, which, like I said, we only have in Abuja and Lagos for now. But wherever else, for all the other things, we are able to support you as much as we can. So if you want access to loans, if you want to join the Shecluded Business Network, if you need support with getting access to health insurance or micro pension, then you are still able to reach us. I think there's a slide, Emmanuel, that has our details, so like the website and the phone numbers. If we can go to that, I think it would help for Victory to have access to that so that she can be able to connect with us. Yes, so that's it. So that's our email. You can always send an email to hello@shecluded.com or directly to me, farida@shecluded.com. And then you can also reach us on phone or on the website, which is shecluded.com. So I hope that answers your question, Victory.
Okay, I think we have another question. I'm not sure what Susan is asking, but she said, what about startups?
So Susan, if you can clarify, because we do actually fund startups. We fund at scale stage or at growth stage, not necessarily at idea stage. So if you're able to show us at least 9 to 12 months, of your cash flow, then we are able to support you. I believe you still qualify as a startup in that case. So if you can clarify what you mean, I think I can be able to answer better.
Okay, Susan, please clarify in the comment box, and yeah, we'll take it. So Victory is saying, "Thank you, ma." I think she's fine with your
Okay.
response.
All right, great.
Okay, I'm not sure we have any question in the comment section again. Okay, so Susan has sent in a clarification. So she said, like I'm a civil servant and just about to start up a business.
All right, Susan, great. Thank you for that question. So, like I said, we fund at a stage where you have paying customers. That's the stage at which we fund. We currently do not fund at idea stage. So, once you start and you have paying customers, and you're able to show us your cash flow, for the next couple of months, so 9 to 12 months, then we are able to come on board. However, you can still join the Shecluded Business Network and interact with other people. You have access to a lot of peer mentoring, so that would also be useful for you since you are just starting up. Susan, I hope I have answered your question.
Okay, while we wait for Susan to respond to
I
that,
think Ekene has
I
one,
think we
right?
yes. Ekene
I
is
love how
saying, how
interactive
can one
it is,
join the
by the
community?
way. How can one join the community? Okay, so we have I'll probably have to send that across to you, Emmanuel. There's more.
Okay,
There's more. This thing, right? There's another session after mine. Am I
yes.
correct? Okay, so I'll send the QR code to you, and then you can share with them. Also, like I said, once you go on the Shecluded website, you would see a place for join, so you can join us there. You can always send me an email or send an email to the hello@shecluded.com email if you need more support. But I would share the QR code with Emmanuel.
All right, that's right.
Okay. Okay, I think Susan has more. Okay, she said it's already registered with COC. Um, but you need funding for equipment. Am I correct, Susan? I think that's what you're saying. So if you are at the stage, if at idea stage, you need more or less like funding for to bootstrap, right? I would suggest that you apply for grants instead. So at the Shecluded Network, one of the things that we do is, give you access and support to be able to get access to grants as well. So even if we are not able to fund you directly, we are able to help and support you to be able to have to be able to get grants. Again, the support because, like I said, we don't fund idea stage. We only fund when you have paying customers. That's actually at the point where we fund. So I hope that that clarifies for you, Susan. You're welcome, Ekene. Okay. Do we have more questions? So I believe all of us here are familiar with financial literacy and our numbers because I'm not getting any questions about our numbers. So that's good. You're welcome, Susan. I'm glad I could answer your questions.
Okay, Farida. I'm not sure we have any more
Any more
questions.
questions, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm looking through and I can't find any. So yeah.
All right. Great, great. So thank you so much again for having me. I'm really excited to be a part of this. I'm going to be around to listen to, more of the comments. So if anyone has more questions, I'm still going to be around to answer. Thank you so much for having me again, to the seller
Okay,
team.
Farida. Sorry to cut you short. I think we have
Yeah.
one last question. I just came in. Yeah.
Okay.
So so Victory is asking, how do we know our numbers?
That's a very good question, Victory. So the first thing is, I think you need to know. There are two ways. I usually say that start with the end in mind. So first of all, you need to have a budget, right? One of the biggest mistakes that a lot of business owners make is I say that they spend as the spirit leads, which is usually not very helpful if you want to build a sustainable business. So always have a budget. And how do you do a budget? So a very simple, straightforward way for you to have a budget is to know what is your target or what's your goal, right? More or less like forecast how much you want to be able to make in a particular month. And then based on that, you look at now how much would you need to spend to be able to make that money. So I'll give an example. If you sell ebooks, right, and each ebooks it sells at 5,000 naira, right, then you decide that for this month I want to be able to sell at least 10 ebooks. That's 50,000 naira. What do you need to do to be able to sell 10 ebooks, right? To be able to make 50,000 naira? Do you need to do more marketing? Do you need to do influencer marketing? Do you need to have a landing page for people to come to be able to have access? Do you need to be able to speak at a particular place so that people can see you and you're more visible? Do you need to be online to do a lot of social listening and then plug your book and be able to sell? All of these things are going to cost you something. Most of the times, they're going to cost you money, right? The money for your data, the money for you to be able to do ads, for example, the money for you to be able to reach out to people and get them to buy your book, right? The content you need to be able to do, for the digital assets to be able to put up online. These are all, again, costs. So the second thing you do after getting that particular goal is to say, what are the costs that I need to be able to look out for? So you write down your costs And then based on that, you know how much you're spending to be able to achieve your budget. Again, you need to separate your needs from your wants, right? Do you need to do influencer marketing to sell a book? Probably. So that's probably not, right? So that's more or less like an extra, right? But what are the other things that you need to do? Um, do you need to have an email marketing list, right? So that you can always reach out to people and engage people and storify until they're able to, like, you're able to convert, right? Do you need a lead magnet to be able to get to that book? So these are all things you need to think about, and then separate your wants from your needs. And then that way you're able to have a budget that is realistic. And then that would be able to help you to be able to achieve your goal. So that's the first thing you need to do. Now, one of the things or the foundations for a good budget, or for you to be able to achieve your goals, right, to be able to sell and still make profit, is actually your pricing. A lot of people don't understand their pricing formulas. A lot of people use what we call the market value pricing. So you just look at, okay, this person is selling in Makodi like I am, or in Owerri like I am, and she's selling maybe her product or her service at 1,000 naira, and we are doing the same business. So of course I can sell for 1,000, or maybe I have more customers than she does, or I have more leverage than she does, or my customers or my target audience have more money than she does, so I can sell mine for 1,500 or 2,000, right? I usually strongly advise against that. Sometimes this could work, but a lot of times it doesn't, because that's perceived value. You have to be sure that that perceived value is also felt by your customers, right? So your customers actually do place you at that level before you're able to sell. So you have to use the right pricing model for you to be able to arrive at the right price. And that way, when you are selling, you're actually selling at a profit and not at a loss. I've spoken to many business owners who make sales of close to 1 million naira or more every month. But by the time they take out their expenses and everything that they need to do, they don't even have a significant profit. So take the time to look at your pricing model. Again, pricing is a whole lecture and topic, that we would need to delve into, and we don't have enough time. So take the time to understand your pricing first, and then based on that, you can work with a budget, and you can know, your numbers, and know whether or not you're making a profit. So that's a summarized version. So I hope that clarifies some things for you, Victory. Temitayo, I think, has a question. Okay, she's saying, I don't understand my numbers. Okay, so I think by saying you don't understand your numbers, what I want to know is which of the numbers. Is it your budgeting? Is it your pricing? Is it your income and expenses? Which of these numbers don't you understand? And then also, I think a follow-up question would be, what type of business do you run? And that way I can be able to advise. Okay, you're welcome, Victory. I'm glad that you're able to get value. So, Emmanuel, I don't know if we have more time for Temitayo to explain what it is she needs me to clarify on before the next session. What time is the next session?
The next session is supposed to start by 6. I think it's
Oh,
almost 6. I don't
oh
think we
wow.
have enough time. Yeah.
That's in the next 1 minute. Okay, so what I would say
Yes.
to you prior is, please reach out to me. I can, again, this is something that we do at the Shecluded Business Network. This is something that we can help you understand, and work with you directly to be able to help you understand your numbers and your pricing and your budgeting. So please reach out. Again, like I said, it's Farida, my name, at shecluded.com. Please send me an email, and you can contact any of those numbers, and we would get you into the business network. Thank you so much for having me again, to the seller team and everyone for joining. I hope this was a useful use of your 30 minutes today. Looking forward to sharing more and connecting with you. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, Farida. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Farida. I really enjoyed the session. Please, if you have any other questions, please ensure to reach out to Farida through her mail, farida@shecluded.com or hello@shecluded.com. We're so excited that we're able to bring you guys this. So our next session is about launching your first digital product. Now, you learned about monetizing your knowledge in the morning. You learned financial literacy this evening, and also how to get funding from Shecluded. And this evening, we're going to be talking all about how you can launch your first digital product. Your first digital product. I'm so excited because the person that's coming to talk about this is literally a launch expert for business. She's helped many business owners. She's helped many business owners create launch strategies that they can, like they used to launch their businesses, products, services, and get their required reach. So stay tuned for the next session. It's starting now, so like don't even go anywhere.
Hi guys, my name is Lucky Elahor and I am a digital creator. One of the things I love about Seller is the ease and simplicity it provides for me to be able to transact with clients and students from all over the world. Seller has so many amazing features that I really love, so it would be hard to pick a favorite feature. But if I'm to really pick my favorite feature on Seller, as the queen of automation and someone who likes to lay a bunch of products together because I don't want to leave any money on the table, I would say my favorite feature on Seller right now is upsells and cross-sells. I love this feature so much because it allows you to sell related products or even sell the premium offer after someone buys. I love Seller so much, so you should definitely try it.
Hello?
Hi Ella, welcome. So excited to have you here. I'm so excited for your session because I'm so excited for your session. Thank you so much for doing this with us. I know a lot of women here are going to benefit from the knowledge you are going to share this evening. So we're ready when you are. Just give us the go ahead and we'll pop up your slides.
Okay, I'm ready. Very excited for this session too. Hello, everybody. Please, you can pop up my slides. I think I've started sharing. Okay. Hi, everyone. So today, I'll be talking about how to successfully launch your first digital product. But first, before we get into it, I would love to know where you're listening to me from. So feel free to just leave some things in the chat box for me, like your name and where you're listening to me from. And you could even drop some things like what business you're into or what you're looking to create as a digital product, what you want your digital product to be around. All right, so just quickly let me know. I'll be reading the chat box. But before I do that, I just want to drop a few tips to help you make the most out of this webinar. I'd really recommend that you get in a very quiet environment, free from distractions, because it's very easy to get distracted. Attention is very expensive these days. So try to get in a quiet environment, have a pen and a notepad, because you will have some aha moments during today's session. And please, when this moment comes, don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you learned. All right. And write down any questions you have, because questions might come up when I'm going through the slides, and I would love to revisit them during Q&A. All right. But why should you listen to me? I know Sela has shared a few things, but let me just give you a very quick story, right? So I launched my first digital product during the heat of the pandemic, COVID-19. And I did this after I had been working with several business owners, and I noticed the patterns in the challenges that they had. And so it really just made sense to create one product that could help more people at the same time without exchanging my time and my energy over and over again. But then this one digital product sold over and over and over and over again, and it raked in millions of naira for me. The first time I launched this digital product, I sold it for 3,000 naira, and I've sold that same digital product for 20,000 naira. So I said that same digital product because I kept improving on the product with every time that I relaunched the product. And over the years, I've launched and I've sold multiple products and services priced from $10 up to 7,700 US dollars. And I've documented my process, I've documented lessons I have learned, and I want to share them with you today to help you to launch your first digital product successfully. All right? Okay. So why are we here? Obviously, you want to learn how to successfully launch your first digital product. But first, we'll talk about why most people don't create digital products and mistakes I have seen people make when trying to get people to buy their new digital products, and mistakes that I have made as well while launching over and over again. All right. So, why most people don't create digital products? Number one reason I hear this: if I had $1 for every time I heard this, I would be a multi-millionaire in dollars. People think they don't know enough. And the truth is, there's a difference between knowing enough and knowing everything. Most of the time, we feel we're supposed to know everything about everything, but you may not know enough to say take yourself from where you are now to where you want to be. However, you know what took you to where you are, and that knowledge that you have is enough to put in your digital product. There are people who want to get to where you are right now, whether it's in your personal life, in your business, in your career, in your finances, in your relationship, spiritual life, literally whatever it is. There are people who want to get to where you are right now, and that's literally all you need to start creating your digital product. Right? So I want this to eliminate some fear around creating digital products. A lot of people feel like they need to be some kind of expert. You don't have to be. In fact, I feel like it took a very long time for me to start calling myself an expert while I was sharing my knowledge because I struggled with this. So please, I want you to know that you know more than enough. You know what has taken you to where you are, and that's good enough. And the second reason why a lot of people don't create digital products is that they feel they're not popular. Now, yes, you do need an audience for you to have a successful launch, but you don't need to be popular. If you have 500 or 1,000 people who follow you and they have the need that your product can meet, you will sell, you will make sales. All right. And when you have an effective pre-launch strategy, considering this, so considering that, oh, I don't have a very large audience, or I don't have, let's say, the target audience that I want to sell my products to, you can then create awareness, content, and then get new people to follow you and nurture them to eventually buy your product. And another thing you can do, just in case you're not popular or you don't have a lot of followers, is to leverage other people's audiences who have your target market. It's really simple. You could do things like collaborating with people, sliding into their DMs, and telling them that you'd like to come on live or collaborate with them and share profit. Or you could even go to places like Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups, or just DM people who have the target audience. This could be people like influencers or groups, but there are people who have the audience you're looking for. So this shouldn't be an excuse. And then again, you can create a freebie, get people on a list and sell to them. Or you can run paid ads. There's literally no excuse. You have no excuse. If there's any excuse you want to give me right now, I have a counter for it. You do not need to be popular. You just need the people, your target audience in a specific place, and you give them your product. Okay? And the third common reason a lot of people don't launch digital products is they feel it's not the right time. Oh, there's recession, or people are suffering, election this, first scarcity that. As Africans and as Nigerians, I don't think there's ever a time when something is not happening. But does this mean you should be insensitive? No. However, when your intent behind launching or selling a product is to help someone, you'd be able to show up with a clean energy from a place of service, and your people will show out for you and they will buy your products. I mean, when I launched my first product, it was during the pandemic. And that was my first digital product launch ever. And I probably sold around maybe 50 to 80 of that digital product the very first time that I launched it. And plus, in the end, regardless of what's happening around you, there are still people who are living the life regardless. So I just want you to focus on what you're doing. Okay, focus on creating your product, focus on serving your audience, and the right people will buy. Okay, so no more excuses saying it's not the right time. There would almost never be a right time. And even sometimes you could, if you even look at your life as a person, there's never really a time where everything is perfect. But does that mean that you shouldn't go ahead and live life and do what you're supposed to do? So it's not an excuse. Things will always be happening, life will always be happening, but don't let that stop you. Let that be a source of motivation. Find an angle to show up and provide people with the value that you have and that they're ready to receive from you. So let me know which one of these resonated with you the most. Let me know which one of these things I just shared resonated with you the most. Let me see. Let me know which one of them resonated with you the most. Which of these excuses do you feel like you have been making and that has probably stopped you from creating your own digital products? Okay, just leave that in the chat box for me and then I'll get to it. Now, let's talk about mistakes people make when they're trying to get people to buy a new digital product. Number one mistake I've seen is not pre-selling or validating first. I've seen tons of people create digital products, whether it's an ebook, a webinar, an online course, and they don't validate it first and they feel sad when no one buys. And they're like, nobody wants to buy what I'm selling. But then again, you do not pre-sell, you do not validate, you do not have an actual proof that this product would meet a need in the lives of people. So you just decided to sell because maybe you heard people say digital products people are buying, you can sell it. It's it's a low ticket product, and so it's easy for people to just say yes and pay. But then again, just because it's cheap doesn't mean people would be willing to pay for it. It needs to be meeting a need that people are willing to part with their hard-earned money to meet, whether it's 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, whatever amount your digital product is, you have to pre-sell and validate first. Else, it is going to flop and you'd blame yourself. As usual, we always like to take responsibility. You end up blaming yourself. All right, so this is something you should avoid. Don't be one of the people who tries to sell or launch a digital product without first validating that this product that I'm about to create meets an actual need. All right. And the second mistake I've seen a lot of people make is not having a launch plan. People just create content, run ads, and just hope and pray that people are buying the digital product. Now, when you want to launch a digital product, basically launching means to introduce or reintroduce a product to the marketplace. And so it takes time to introduce a new product to the marketplace. And if it's something that has existed before, that currently exists, like people are already selling something similar, people need to understand why they should be buying yours if something already exists. And then if it's not something that already exists in the marketplace, people need to understand what need your product is now meeting that the other products could not meet. So if you do not have a launch plan in place that allows you to properly introduce this new product into the market and allow people to receive it, you will not be able to successfully sell your digital product. And another thing not having a launch plan does is that when you don't have a launch plan, let's say, for example, you decide to launch a digital product, but you don't have a plan, you just probably created the product and then started talking about it on social media, and then nobody's buying. And then let's say the first 2-3 days, nobody pays for the product. Immediately you start to feel down, you stop talking about it. But when you have a launch plan, it will help you to understand that these type of things need time. And most of the time, when you're launching an offer, it's usually towards the end of the launch that you get the most sales, that you get the most opt-in. But because you do not have a launch plan or you didn't have a launch strategy that you were following through with, you gave up too soon, or you did not even understand what you should be monitoring or what you need to tweak in order to create the sales. All right. So don't be one of the people that try to sell their digital products without a launch plan. And the third mistake I've seen, oh my God, is setting goals that they do not have the capacity to meet and creating an unrealistic plan. I've seen this over and over again. You'd see people, you'd ask them, how much do you want to earn from this launch? And they tell you, oh, I want to earn 10 million naira. Okay, so what do you have? What resources do you have? that you feel would be able to help you get 10 million naira? Do you have an email list of, say, let's say your product is 10,000 naira, and so if you want to earn 10 million naira, you need to be selling to what, about 1,000 people or 100 people? I don't know, but around that number. And so you ask them, do you have an email list of 1,000 people that are your target audience? No. Okay. How many people do you have in your social media? Which we know that only about 5% of your social media audience, they're going to see all the content you're sharing. You probably have like maybe 200 followers on Instagram, or let's say 1,000 followers on Instagram. And then you say, okay, how much do you have to spend on ads? Let's see, or to pay influencers or to collaborate. They don't have the resources to meet that goal. And then eventually, when they decide to launch and they don't meet that goal, they make it mean something about them. When in the first place, you never had the capacity, you never had the resources. And then because you didn't have a launch plan, you didn't know that you didn't have the resources in the first place. And so the actual assets and the things that needed to be in place to make that goal happen, you didn't have them, they were not in place. So it wasn't even possible in the first place for you to meet those goals. So when you're setting your goals for your launch, to launch a digital product, you need to make sure that whatever goal it is I'm setting is realistic and I have the capacity to meet those goals. All right, I have the capacity to meet that goal. I have all the resources available. I'm willing to spend 100,000 naira, 500,000 naira to run paid ads so I can get people buying this product. I'm willing to build my email list so I could get a lot of people that I'm going to be marketing this product to. Those are the things that you need to have in place so that the goals become realistic. So your goals need to match up the plan and the capacity that you currently have. All right, because I don't want you to set goals and then try to launch and then it doesn't work out like that, and then you start making it mean something about you and then you refuse to launch again because the number of people you wanted to buy didn't buy, or then you start refunding people and say, oh, I'm not creating this product again. Make sure you set very realistic goals and have the capacity and a launch plan that can help you to create those goals. All right, so now I'm going to be going into the meat of the content, and that's telling you the exact steps you need to successfully launch your digital product. All right. Now, launching can be exciting yet overwhelming. Launching can be overwhelming. As a launch strategist, I have launched for myself. I have supported my clients to launch. Launching can be overwhelming and it can be exciting. But when you have the right process to follow, it's very durable. And in the end, it can be very, very, very rewarding. All right. Now, other things I'm about to share with you, I'm considering you have an audience no matter how few. All right. So the very first step you need to successfully launch a digital product is to validate your product idea. Like I said earlier, the biggest mistake you can make when you're launching a digital product is to skip validation and assume that people would buy just because it's cheap or just because it's available or just because you're selling something online. All right. And the only way for you to know for sure that your product will have a successful launch is to validate your product idea. So I want you to ask yourself a few questions. So what problem does your product solve? The product that you want to create, what problem would it solve? What need does it meet for your target audience? Now, is it something that people see as necessary to solve? Because there are things people see as a nice to have. Oh, this would be cute. It'll be nice to have, but it's not something I'm willing to spend money on, especially with what's happening right now. It has to be something that people see as necessary to solve. And if yes, how much are they willing to pay for it? All right. What does your product need to have that would make it an easy yes? And another primary goal for validation when you're validating your product idea is to gather as much data and feedback. So these questions I wrote down here. Some of them are for you, and some of them are for the people that you will be talking to. So you don't validate your product idea based on your own experience. You validate your product idea based on what people are willing to buy. Because in the end, you're selling to people. And if people don't want to buy, they're not going to buy, no matter how amazing you think your product idea is. So you have to go out and speak to people, reach out to people, send them DMs, and then listen to what they have to say, gather data, ask them very specific questions. Oh, I'm about to create this product that solves this particular problem. And I'd like to know, is this something that you feel is necessary to solve for you? If yes, why? That's when you're able to ask them that particular question, ask them why it's necessary for them. That will be very, very, very useful data. And I'll show you where you'd use that kind of information. Get those type of data, extract it from them, ask them questions, and take your time, listen. And I really want to take this part seriously, because a lot of people who do not have successful launches are the people who do not validate their product ideas, who do not ask people, and who do not listen and take feedback. All right. And then ask them how much they're willing to pay for it. Now, when it comes to pricing digital products or even high-end offers, there's something I like to do. I like to say there's a number everybody always has in their head around what they feel the product is worth, right? So what you're going to do when you're validating a product idea is to ask them a question and hear what they have to say, how much they're willing to pay for it. So some people may tell you, oh, I'll be willing to pay 5K for this. Some people will tell you, oh, I'm willing to pay, 10K for this. Let's say how much the price that was in your mind was 15K. If people say 5K, 10K, it already means that they probably don't see the value. The value doesn't align with the price one I had in mind. But then if people are telling you, oh, I will pay 15K for this, easy 15K, it already means that you should probably raise the price of that digital product, let's say after you have launched. So it gives you a very good idea of what people are willing to spend, how much people are willing to part with, and what the value that they have attached to the product that you're selling. All right. And sometimes you don't even need everybody to tell you. Let's say you're talking to 10 people. You don't need everybody to tell you, oh, yes, I'll pay for this. Sometimes all you need is one or two people to say yes, and then find more of those one or two people in your audience. Obviously, if there's one person willing to pay, there's at least 100 people willing to pay. So find more of those people who are willing to say yes, and that's really all you need. And something I also recommend is get them to put their money where their mouth is. So when they pay for it, just ask them to pay for it. Ask them if they're willing to pay for it right now, and you'd create the product and you let them know when it's ready. When they pay for it, that would do two things. One, obviously, to validate your idea because somebody has paid for it. And two, it would also give you the enthusiasm and excitement and confidence to start creating and working on the product and launching the product. All right. So this is a step you cannot miss. A lot of people miss this step and go straight into creating products. And I see another thing some people do is try to do market research by going online and to look at different platforms and see what people are saying. That's cool too. But then again, you want people who you already have in your audience that are ready to buy from you now, mostly because you've already built some kind of know, like, trust factor with them. Talk to those people, hear from them, let them tell you what they want and how much they're willing to pay and what will get them to actually buy what you're selling. Now, the second step is to package your offer. Now, your offer is basically how you would be selling this product. And when you package, you'll be able to easily package an irresistible offer because people have told you what you need to say, what they need to hear, and what your product needs to have in order to get them to buy. That's why you cannot miss that validation process. One of the reasons why a lot of people struggle to sell or struggle to know what to say to sell is because they miss that validation stage when they were before trying to sell their product, service, whatever it is. They miss that validation stage, so they don't know what they need to say. But when you make sure you do that validation stage, it's easy to create an offer that is irresistible because you have spoken to people who are ready to buy from you. And so you just turn what they have given you into an offer. So what you're going to do is to take the data that they give you during your validation process to package your offer. So you're going to create, you're going to create an ideal client avatar where their point A is where your ideal client is right now, and the point B is where they're going to be, and your product where they want to be, and your product is the bridge to get them there. All right. So everything that you be creating, your offer you'd be creating is telling them this is where you are, this is where you say you want to be, that your product will get them to, and then this is the product that will get you to where you want to be. It's very simple, it's very straightforward. It's very straightforward, really. And then, of course, there are other things you need to look at when you're packaging your offer, like the title and the promise of your offer, which has to be very outcome focused. That is where people say they want to be, which is point B. The mistake I've seen people make when creating the promise of their offer or a subtitle for their product, their digital product, is talking about all the things that people are going to do when they buy the product. So basically, all the work they're going to do. But people are not buying a digital product because they want to do a lot of work or because they have a lot of time on their hand. They are buying a digital product because they want to get results. So your promise or your subtitle has to be very outcome focused. The results that they tell you that they wanted or that they want during the validation process, that is what promise needs to be centered on. And then you write out the benefits of your product and the features, which are like upgraded features, the benefits of each of those features. Because another thing people do, for example, when you're selling a digital product, you list out all the features, all the things that they are going to get within the digital product, and then people don't understand what they mean, but only you understand what those features mean. But when you're able to elaborate and tell them, okay, these are the individual benefits of each of these features, this is why it's inside of this product, it increases the value of your offer, of your product. All right. And then of course, fixing your price based on what they've told you that they are willing to pay for your digital product. And of course, your unique selling proposition. So why is it necessary for your customers to choose your product instead of what is already existing in the marketplace? What alternatives would they ideally go for that your product will be replacing? And what's the real value of this offer? So all of these things, you would basically have them in a Google Doc, which will make it so much easier for you to keep talking about your offer over and over again and to sell your digital product. Now, the next step is to create your launch plan. So right now, you've created your offer, you've validated your idea. It makes sense for you to create a launch plan because you already know that the launch is going to be successful. You're actually going to be able to introduce your product to the marketplace and then get sales. So when you have a launch plan, what it will help you to do is that it will help you to be properly prepared for the launch and keep you focused and organized. And your launch plan is basically all the tasks and the activities that you'll be carrying out to make sure that your launch is successful. And when you're creating your launch plan, it should have your launch goal, your launch timeline. Remember, your launch goal has to be based on your current capacity. You should have your launch timeline, so the pre-launch date and the product release date. And then for the first time, if you're launching, please try not to make it longer than 7 days so you don't get burnt out or get tired of launching. And obviously, you need to have like your marketing channels, those need to be included, your launch assets, your funnel or your sales process, and a content strategy. So these are all the things that your launch plan should have. And while doing this, if you have an audience, you need to create some kind of excitement and get people on a wait list. This could be email list, it could even be DMs, Telegram, or WhatsApp. It'll be so easy for you to sell your products to people on a wait list because they basically opted in to be sold to. It's different from people getting into your list, say through a lead magnet, and then you trying to sell them on something. If you create a wait list for this product and you're like, you could just create like a graphic post telling them, I want to help so and so people. I'm creating something that would help you get X, Y, and Z. That's the outcome, the promise of your offer. If you're interested, click the link in my bio to join the wait list. And obviously, there'll be incentives for joining the wait list. So say if you join the wait list, you're going to get like an early bird discount. If you join the wait list, you're going to get a bonus from me. If you join the wait list, I have this free masterclass that I created. I'm going to give it to you, but there'll be some kind of incentives that will get people on the wait list, and then you could easily sell to them. All right. So these would be your launch plan. These are the things that your launch plan should have. And then we get to preparing your launch assets. So I want you to give yourself time to prepare these assets so that when it's time for you to launch, you'd only be executing and fully present. A mistake I see people make is creating their launch assets while they're launching, and then they do not have the energy anymore to continue launching, or then the launch ends up being half-assed because they're tired and they're just trying to, in fact, they're just trying to hurry up so it's over already. You don't want that to be your situation. You want everything to be prepared and ready prior to your actual launch. So the assets that you need for your launch is dependent on what kind of digital product you're launching and your sales process or your sales funnel. So, but some of the things you would need are things like your sales page copy, sales page platform where you'd be creating your sales page. You need like a payment link, social media content, email content if you have a list. You need like a thank you page and the product itself. I'd actually prefer that your product is a pre-order product, and then you'll need some things like your product mock-up, flyer. These will be like some of the assets that you need to create for your digital product launch. And then in terms of content, when you're creating content for your email or social media, I really want you to focus on connecting these people's existing needs to your product. So the people you spoke to when you were validating your idea, they have given you a lot of information. So those things I told you about where they talked about, oh, this is why I would buy now. This is why now is a good time. Those are the information. I want you to really listen to things like limiting beliefs or why I don't think this thing will work for me, or some of the excuses they're coming up with. You would need to turn them into content. So you'd be creating content that talks about showing them how their desires, the needs that they have, can be met with your product, why they should choose your product. You'll be overcoming objections, you'll be calling out limiting beliefs and creating new beliefs, because they need to have new beliefs around your product. They need to have new beliefs around you. They need to have new beliefs around your approach to the solution or to the goal that they want your digital product to help them meet. And obviously, you need to be creating some kind of sense of urgency and showing testimonials if you have any. And of course, showing proof that other people are buying. That is this last one I just talked about. It just does something where people can see that there are other people who are buying this product as well. I've tried out a strategy and it has worked like crazy. There are different ways you can do this. You can decide to write the number, or 500 people have registered, or 2 or 20 people have bought this, or you can literally just show screenshots of like payments, people who have paid. There's one I did one time when I was launching this product I told you about. The first time I launched it, I was showing screenshots of all the 3K payments from that very first launch. I was showing screenshots, and the more I showed screenshots, people were DMing me, oh, how can I get this? People were leaving in the comments, oh, how can I get this? So showing proof that other people are buying works very well. It's like, you know how you see 2 restaurants, and in one restaurant, there are lots of cars parked, people are in the restaurant, and then you see another restaurant, it's just 1 or 2 cars parked, and it's kind of deserted. Obviously, you'd be more drawn to the restaurant that has more people there, because you feel, oh, their food will be better, their service is probably better, because for all these people to be here, these people are definitely doing something that these other people are not doing. And that's the same vibe that showing proof that people are buying gives your product as well. It just makes people gravitate towards you naturally, because if other people can't trust you with their money, then they can too. Now, executing your launch plan. So executing your launch plan and monitoring your launch. So now you prepared everything for your launch. It's time to start inviting people to take action. So you'd share your content, build momentum, be excited and observant. All right. I say be excited because energy is contagious. If you say you want to create a video, for example, talking about your digital product that you're launching, and you're not excited about it, if you're not excited to sell, people would be afraid to buy. So people need to feel your excitement when you're launching. I mean, you are doing some amazing work. You're about to transform people's lives with your digital product that you've invested so much time creating. So you need to be excited to sell, all right? And be observant. Watch what's going on. Watch what particular content you share. Get people asking you questions. And so watch what's going on during your launch and what messaging people are responding to. That's very important, because when you spoke to these people, they gave you different words, they told you different things, they gave you different reasons why they would buy, they asked you different questions, they give you lots of objections and limiting beliefs. So when you create all of the content and you start sharing it, watch which messaging people respond to more, which messaging, what content in particular got people in your DMs. And when you see that, it would help you to know, okay, is there a way I can repeat this message before this launch ends so I can drive more sales? Is there a way I can tweak this content, or, say it in another way so I can get more sales, so I can get more people buying, all right? So do your possible best to keep up with the momentum till the very last day when you're executing your launch. Because like I said, a lot of sales come in when you're just about to close cut. So you cannot afford to lose momentum that you have built, you have spent days building, and of course, all the energy that you have spent preparing your launch assets. You do not want that to go to waste. And then the other step is to deliver your product and gather feedback. Now, your product must be ready by the release date because, like I said, when you're creating your launch plan, you should already have a launch timeline where you have your pre-launch date and the product release date. And this will obviously be communicated to your audience. So when it's time for you to deliver your product, make sure that it is ready at the dates that you have promised, because you must preserve your integrity, because trust is really hard to gain but very easy to lose. People could literally do 100 good things, but one bad thing will just turn people against you. All right. So and you don't want that, especially because you're building an online business or you're selling digital products, and people talk easy. They could just go on social media and write something just because you did not deliver the dates you have promised. So make sure it is ready before your release date so you can just easily send it to them. And if you're using a platform like Seller, you just create it, put it into their platform, and then on the release date, they automatically send it to all of your clients. So deliver the product to your customers and encourage your customers to send you feedback. What you can do is to ask them very specific questions so they give you testimonials that are valuable and will encourage future customers to buy. I've seen people ask for feedback and they're saying, oh, it was so nice, it was so cool, I loved it, you did a great job. And there are different type of testimonials. There are testimonials that are praise testimonials, and there are testimonials that can actually lead to sale. That's the one you want. And for you to get those testimonials that lead to sale, you need to be asking your customers very specific questions after they have bought your product. So you can ask them questions like, what were your thoughts before purchasing? What was your situation? Where were you? What was your biggest fear before purchasing? Why did you decide to buy this product? Have you been able to implement it yet? What kind of results have you created for yourself? What would you say to people who are in your situation but are having doubts about this offer? If you think about it, when you get these specific answers from the people who have bought your product and implemented the lessons that are inside of your product, you would be able to get amazing testimonials that will get you even more sales. So make sure you're gathering quality testimonials, not just people saying nice one, nice job, you did so well, I'm proud of you. You don't need that. People don't care if anybody else is proud of you when they're about to part with their money. They need quality testimonials from real people that would help to reduce the objections and the fears that they have around buying a digital product. Because like I said earlier, a lot of these people have probably been exposed to other products in the marketplace and you're introducing something new to them. So you need to have real testimonials that be able to eliminate fears and limiting beliefs and make it easy for them to say yes to your digital product. Now, after you've launched, you need to properly analyze your launch data. This is something a lot of people miss. They just go right ahead to, spend money or whatever it is that people usually do when you're not analyzing their launch data. But this is something you must do so you can have more successful launches. So based on the data you have collected with your initial launch goals, what worked? What didn't work? What would you do again? What will you not do again? And whether things that you couldn't keep up with that drained your energy or weren't realistic for you. So for example, you hear people say, okay, when you're creating your launch plan and your content strategy, they're like, I'm going to go live every day. I'm going to be posting 3 videos a day. I'm going to do like a 30 days challenge. But in the end, you found out that you could not keep the momentum. You could not go in line with your plan because it wasn't realistic for you. You did not look at your energetic capacity before setting those for creating those launch activities. All right, so you need to take note of all those things so you do not do them. But then again, if for example it was something that worked but it drained your energy, you can look at how you can pace yourself. For example, going live works really well. I have sold lots of products and services just by going live on Instagram. So what you can do is say, okay, maybe I should pace myself next time. Instead of going live every day, maybe I can do 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off. So I'm alternating. So it's more realistic for me. And say the days that I don't go live, I could post a video. So people are seeing my face every day. People are listening to me talk every day. And I'm always in their face. My product is in their face. They are seeing the benefits and things like that. So look at what worked and what you should keep doing. Look at what worked. Think about why you think it worked. That's very important. Why you think it worked. Why that content you got a lot of sales, got people in your DMs. and how you can replicate it in the future. And also calculate your conversion rate is very important. So you need to know the number of interactions you got and the number of sales. So let's say, for example, the number of interactions can be things like link clicks or number of people who came into your DMs or number of people who commented a specific word, saying that you're interested in the products that you're selling, all over the number of sales you actually got. And if it's in your emails, the number of interaction could be like number of people who opened your emails and then the number of sales. Or if it's a webinar, for example, that's how you decided to launch your digital product. It's okay, the number of people who attended live divided by the number of sales. So that'll help you know your conversion rate. So it's something that you can then use when you're relaunching and say, okay, this is my conversion rate. So if this is the goal that I want, then I need to make sure this amount of people are interacting with my my emails or my social media content or whatever it is. And then your next question would be, how can I get those number of people? So you see how analyzing your data would literally make it so easy for you to keep launching and making a lot of money and sales. All right. And then you rinse and repeat, really. So your launch is successful. And if you decide to launch again or automate things, so you can literally decide to automate things and just run paid ads, you would have data that will make your life easy. And also you need to make updates to ensure that you're doing everything in your power to increase your conversion rate. So you make updates to things like your sales copy, your offer, add more testimonials to your sales page, tweak your previous launch plan, create ad creatives and copies and things like that. All right. So just rinse and repeat, and it will be easy for you to repeat your launch success, the success that you created in your previous launch, and even do more because now you have more data that you're working with. So a quick recap: validate your product idea, package your offer, create your launch plan, create your launch assets, execute and monitor your launch, deliver your product and gather feedback, rinse and repeat. So I just want to share some extra tips with you before we go into Q&A. Number one tip I want to share with you is that all launches aren't the same. All launches aren't the same, and they may not all lead to the sale. So depending on the price points of your offer, there's sometimes when, say, for example, if you're selling a very low ticket offer, there's sometimes when you'd have like 100 sales, and there are other times when they get 5 sales. But then if you're selling like a higher end product, you could have times where you get like 5 sales, and there are other times where you get no sale, but you still did the same process. So all of them may not lead to sale, but the matter of fact is that launches will do what they're supposed to do, which is to introduce your products in the marketplace or reintroduce it and create a lot of momentum. So sometimes you may launch, but you may not get the number of sales you want for your digital product, but then you'd get a lot of eyes, you get a lot of visibility, attention, because you've done so much work. So there are even times when let's say I was launching a particular high-end offer, and maybe I did not get anybody pay for that particular high-end offer, but I had other people come for another thing entirely that's probably even more expensive than the high-end offer that they wanted to, that I was trying to sell initially. Okay, so it may not all lead to the sale that you want, but it will do its job by creating momentum, visibility for your brand, for your business. All right. And data is data. Don't make it mean something about you. When you start launching all the time, there will be times, because times are different, seasons are different, so different things are always happening. And based on what's happening, it could actually impact your results when you're launching. So data is data. Don't make it mean anything about you. If you do not get a lot of sales when you do your first launch, don't make it mean anything about you. Take it for what it is, data, and use that data to make sure that the next launch that you do gives you better results. And have a wait list. Like I said earlier, it makes life a whole lot easier when you have a wait list. You really have a list of people waiting to buy from you. And then your product doesn't have to be perfect. I cannot stress on this enough. I mean, iPhone has launched the iPhone, 15 times or 14 times. They just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And there are still bugs that have been there like 5 years ago that are still there, and they just refuse to fix it. But then they just keep launching because your product doesn't have to be perfect. When I first launched my product, I told you about, it was far from perfect. In fact, now when I look at that product, I cringe a little bit because I'm like, oh, there could have been so much more. But then again, that's why I kept on improving. All All right. So your product doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be good enough to deliver people the results that they want. And even as cringe-worthy as I thought that product was, it gave people massive results that blew my mind. And I'm like, what? So it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough to deliver the results that you want to give your clients. All right. And when you're launching, it's okay to feel nervous. Everybody feels nervous. What if people don't buy it? It's okay to feel that way. But as long as you go through the validation process, you will be able to successfully launch that your product. So as long as you go through the validation process and you are successful, and let's say you got a few people to pay you, or you have people who are saying, yes, this is something I will definitely pay for. And okay, let me just quickly tip this in. Let's say, for example, during the validation process, you do not feel comfortable asking people to pay before you create a product. You can just tell them, when I create this product, would you like me to reach out to you when it's ready? That's something you can easily do. All right. Now, another tip, do not feel entitled to people's money just because you launch. This is a big one. When you start sharing your knowledge, especially, let's say, for example, you are trying to build your audience before you sell or before you launch, you're trying to create a lot of awareness. You feel like, oh, I'm giving so much value. By the time I launch, I should have my first day, I should have at least 50 sales. By day 260, day 370. And then day one, you have one sale. Don't feel entitled to people's money just because you launch. That's why you need to be monitoring data. If you launch and you see people aren't buying as much as they should, check your data, check what's going on, analyze, monitor, observe, see what you can tweak, and make sure that you're able to earn people's money. Let them see it as something that is of true value. Clearly communicate what you're trying to sell so they can feel comfortable enough and trust you enough to actually pay for the products that you're selling. All right. And keep your launch momentum, because a lot of the sales will come when you're just about to close cart. When you're saying, in the next 2 hours, in the next 6 hours, in the next 24 hours, this product, we're going to stop selling it, we're closing cart, whatever it is. That is when you will see a lot of sales coming in. I've even had a situation with a client where after he closed cart, 5 people, I don't know how they did it, they snuck in. I don't know how they entered his payment link. And this was a product that was about, I think, about $250, about $750. And they snuck in somehow and still paid for it. All right. So during that end of sales, when you're just about to close, a lot of sales will come in. So, keep your launch momentum, keep your energy high, be excited, do things that would excite you, have fun, make it a game, just enjoy yourself, okay, while you're launching your digital products, and get creative. All right, get creative, look for creative ways. You could literally be scrolling on social media and you see different ideas that come to you. Get creative and do things that excite you so you can have the most fun while you're making the most money. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. That's all I have for you this evening. So I'm open to your questions right now. Let me see. I think there's some questions here. Oh, Elizabeth says she's not popular. Don't let don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you. I've told you a few things you can do, and you really don't have to be popular. Temitaya says, I don't have onions and I feel it's not the right time. Like I told you, there's never a time that is perfect for you to launch a digital product. So most of the time, that's just a fear that you have, and you need to know where this fear is coming from so you can overcome it and just do it anyways. All right, Lady with Fire says feeling is not like it isn't the right time. It's never the right time. No time is ever perfect. You just have to do it anyways. Aisha says, how do I create an online course on graphics designing? How do you create an online course on graphics designing? You create an online course on graphics designing. Okay, first of all, I literally want you to go through this process before you create an online course on graphics designing. Is this something that people want to pay for? Is it something that people say, oh, I want to learn how to I wish, do people say, oh, I wish there was an online course that could teach me how to design graphics? And then there's some things you need to think about. So while very important, I want you to do validation, all right? Validate this idea of creating an online course, because online courses, they're not easy to create. And I wouldn't want you to spend a lot of energy. I wouldn't want you to spend a lot of energy creating an online course and then nobody pays, because online course is not beans. It's a lot of energy you invest into it. So validate this idea that you have. Chinyere says, I don't know how to identify my audience because I do not have an audience. Okay, so let's start with what your product idea is. What do you want your product what do you want your product to be based on? What do you want to create? What solution do you want to provide? What problem are you trying to solve? That would give you a direct idea of who your audience is. All right. Chinyere, just if you are still here, let me know what your product idea is, and then I'll show you how you can identify your audience. Temitayo says, will I be asking my audience in general or a particular set of people before launching? You can do both. You can do both. I recommend both, actually. If you have an audience, just create a post just create like a post, a quick text. It could be like a tweet, screenshot it and go and post it on all your platforms where you're online, and you're like, I want to help people do X, Y, and Z. So the outcome, the thing that you want to help them achieve, would you be interested in something like this? And then you can then reach out to people one-on-one who you feel have that particular need or have that problem that you can solve. And then hear what people have to say. Timitaya says, what kind of content should I talk about in live sessions as a coach who wants to teach people how to turn their knowledge into ebooks? Okay, what kind of content should you talk about in live sessions, like Instagram live sessions? To teach people how to turn their knowledge into ebooks. Okay, so it depends on who you want to teach, who you're trying to teach, so who your audience is. So there's something I like to call the elevated client. There are people who, for example, don't believe that they should be creating ebooks, and those are not the type of people that you want to be talking to, because they're the people you need to be convincing over and over again to create an ebook. So the people that you want to be talking to, for example, when you want to talk about creating ebooks, are people who are already monetizing their knowledge and want to turn it into ebooks. Those are the best people who would be able to join your coaching program or pay for your digital products or your online course or whatever it is. So start talking about reasons why people, experts, for example, aren't turning their knowledge into ebooks. You could talk about steps they need to take to be able to successfully, launch an ebook. You could talk about mistakes people make when they're trying to launch an ebook or turn their knowledge into ebooks and things like that. Those are the type of content you should be creating. So basically, all of the things that I just told you about, think about the objections, think about limiting beliefs, think about mistakes, think about problems they have. So there are some people who have probably tried to create ebooks before. These are also your best clients. They've tried to create ebooks before, but the whole process is overwhelming. What should be in my table of content? Should I create what are those other things that they feel like they need to write before they create an ebook? Or do I have to be like do I have to be this particular type of person? How many qualifications do I need to have to create an ebook? Who am I to have an ebook? There are different things. So those are the type of content you should be creating in your live class. So you're addressing people who are already in a frame of mind of, oh, I have this knowledge, I'm an expert, I have this expertise, and I want to create an ebook. So those are the type of content basically you should be creating around that. Can this launch plan also be used for a physical product? Yes, it can be used for a physical product as well. It can. So much value. Thank you. I'm glad you got a lot of value. Okay, I'm into adire making, and I'm also looking at launching my products, but I'm considering a virtual launch. Do you think virtual launching of my physical products? Okay, you want to launch your adire, like is it like already made adire clothing, or is it like the fabrics, or do you want to teach people who are already doing adire how to sell or build an adire business that makes money. Um, what exactly do you want to launch as a product as an adire maker? So just help me make that clear and I'll be able to answer you. Okay, how about selling an online course on a subject people can learn about if they watch a lot of YouTube videos? Okay, that's a very good question. The thing is, when people are paying for an online course, they are not only paying for information; they're paying for perspective, your perspective. And if the only thing that you feel you can offer them is information, then that's when you'd have people saying, oh, I could just watch YouTube videos. So when you want to sell your online course, I strongly recommend that you attach it to a story, attach it to your own story, attach it to your perspective, and why you would recommend people going a particular way instead of just watching YouTube videos. For example, when you want to sell an online course on this subject that people can learn by watching a lot of YouTube videos, you could create a content talking about why watching YouTube videos would not is not it's not a good plan, a good strategy for them if you're serious about this particular thing you want to talk about. So it could be, your points could be, you used to be somebody who binged a lot of YouTube videos, but then there are different people's opinions and there's information scattered everywhere and things are getting outdated. So on YouTube, for example, you could see videos that were posted 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, and different people's opinions are scattered everywhere. But then I'm showing you things that work right now, that work today, that are effective today, that will give you the results you're looking for today. And then again, you could talk about having direct access to you based on being in this course. So for the course, you could attach something like a group program, a group coaching program, where just because you bought this course, you get a group coaching program with me where you can ask me direct questions. So when it shouldn't be about just information when you want to sell this course, especially because it's information people may be able to find on YouTube. There should be an addition of your value, your perspective, and what you bring to the table that they will not be able to get on YouTube. Temitayo says, can I validate my course by giving out a free ebook relating to the course and getting people to join the wait list? Yes, you can. Yes. So definitely you can create a free ebook that is around the topic. In fact, when you're creating a lead magnet in the first place, with the intention of selling a course, it has to be directly related to the course that you're trying to sell. So yes, you can do that. Definitely you can. Ekene says, I created an ebook that didn't sell. I want to relaunch. Can I relaunch this same product on pre-order? Yes, you can. But then the question is, why did the ebook not sell? Have you found out the reasons why it didn't sell in the first place so you do not have the same issues when you try to relaunch? So before you try to relaunch this ebook, I would really like you to go through the same process all over again. Go revalidate it, go talk to people, go hear what they have to say. And then, yes, you can absolutely do it on pre-order. Tell them it will be released by so and so date, even though it has been available before. All right? So yes, you can, but please just go through the process again to make sure that this time around it will sell and you do not spend so much energy doing all those activities and you do not make any sales. Victory says, I was told I can't run Facebook ads because Facebook doesn't permit Nigerians. Permit it for Nigerians with Naira. How do I use dollar to run it, please? I don't understand. I was told I can't run ads because Facebook doesn't permit it for Nigerians with Naira. How do I run it? Wait, how do I use dollar to run? How do you use dollar to run ads? You can create a dollar ad account. I'm not a Facebook ad expert, but I run Facebook ads. So you could create a dollar ad account and you could use find like a dollar virtual card platform that can help you with the dollar card. Or if you have a dollar Mastercard, you can use that. So just create a Facebook ad account that has a dollar payment settings, something. Okay, Chinyere says healthcare education on childhood conditions that can lead to infertility in adulthood, menopause, preparing for pregnancy, breastfeeding. Okay, let me revisit Chinyere's early questions. Okay, so I don't know how to identify my audience because I don't have an audience. And then she says, healthcare education on childhood conditions that can lead to infertility. Okay, so I mean, on childhood conditions that can lead to infertility in adulthood, menopause, preparing for pregnancy, breastfeeding, all of the things I'm saying here is leading to one audience: women, ladies, females. All right, that's your target audience. And then, since you're talking about education on childhood conditions that lead to infertility and adulthood, menopause, so this could be women. It could then be like women who have children. So then they'll be the ones who would be able to help their children who are going through, who have any of these conditions. So that's basically your target audience: women who are married women, or women of a certain age, or women who have kids. So preparing for pregnancy, breastfeeding, that's basically your target audience. Let me know if you have any other questions around that. So I would love to connect. Okay, Mrs. Zutania. Okay. Email. Thank you, Larry. You're very welcome. Launching my ready to wear. Okay, okay, awesome. Launching my ready to wear Adire fabrics, and finally, I like to create courses and Adire topics. So yeah, I mean, yeah, awesome. You can launch your ready to wear Adire fabrics by creating a lot of momentum, letting them know why Adire ready to wear, why ready to wear, why Adire. You could when you're creating products like this, it's very good for you to tie back to like the origin. So it's not just about like clothing. There's more of a story behind it. So yeah, you could do that. You could attach a story to launching your Adire, and yeah, creating courses on Adire related topics. So obviously you need to validate this idea. So who are the people who would care about a course on Adire related topics? So validate that, please. You're very welcome. You're welcome, welcome. Okay, guys, if you do have any questions, we're already running out of time, and I'm heading to church right after this. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Instagram at The Entrepreneur, and I will answer your questions. Okay? So I think those are all the questions I have for now. You're very welcome. And please let me know what you thought about the session. Feel free to take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram at The Entrepreneur. I'll be very excited to hear what you have to say about the session. So yeah, Lydia.
Okay. Hi, thank you so much. It was such a power-packed session. I learned literally a lot. So thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for the impact, for for all of us here, for all the women here. I'm so excited to even support. I'm so excited to see what you do, and also excited to see what the women on this call, in this conversation, do with like the knowledge you've been dishing out. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I love your audience. They're amazing people. I love the questions I was getting. It really help me know that they were paying attention, and they're actually very serious about it. So I had a great time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The Entrepreneur. So if someone could just help me type that in the chat box, DE Entrepreneur, and you can reach me on Instagram there.
Great.
Okay, I'm
so
glad
thank you
awesome.
once again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure.
Really do appreciate. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. All right. Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful day. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining this session. Really excited to have you guys on here. We have 2 more sessions tomorrow with Niger Sales Maker. She's going to be teaching how to market your first use products. And the people at Seller are also going to come on to show you how you can create these products around your interests. So we are so excited to bring you those 2 sessions tomorrow. The first one is by 5 o'clock and the second one is by 6. So they'll basically be happening immediately after the other. So have a wonderful night. Excited to hear what you thought about the session. You can tag us on Instagram and share your reviews about today's session and about the masterclass at large. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a wonderful night. Peace.
When life gives you lemons, create an online course on how to make lemonade and sell it on Seller. This lemonade name was sweet self.
This is Uzoma. He's a course creator. He sells ebooks and makes roughly $2,000 monthly from his course sales. Do you know where he hosts his courses, ebooks, and digital products? Seller. He even built sales pages with Seller Page Builder. Now, this is Aluna. She's a freelance corporate and she has customers in the UK and USA. She even gets paid at least $1,000 for her services and gets the platform she processes her payment with. Seller. Now, this is Kwame. He is an affiliate marketer and actively promotes Aluna's course using the swift and easy to use affiliate marketing feature on Seller. In fact, he just joined the affiliate network where he has access to thousands of courses he can promote. Why aren't you selling on Seller? Everyone is selling on Seller, but you. Sign up on Seller today.